the login from PC to the vManage was successful. So the next thing, we will try to bring these two devices today. Okay. Along with, we'll try to configure the transport communication between the remote location to the controller, right? So step by step, we'll try to do that. So let me first start to log into this vManage via this PC, and let's see how it is going to happen. So what I'll do, I'll just put the credential. And let me just log in it. Username, password, admin. So we can see here, like already my vManage has been successfully onboarded yesterday. There's no warning, there's no error, and all configuration has been done. But there's still the device which are again a part of the control plane, the vSmart and the vBond. Still, they don't have the visibility till the vManage. So how they are going to be onboarded? So first thing, whenever you go and start doing that, vManage or vBond onboarding process, what you have to do, basically just go on the vBond or like vManage. This basic configuration you have to do. The first thing, the VPN 0. We also need the static route for the every controller, but still I didn't put for the vManage also. So we'll discuss why this static route is going to require. I'll ask some cross questions, and then you guys will suggest me, is it really required or not? So I'm not going to put for time being, later we'll discuss. So you see under the VPN 0, there is no static route is there. So we just have to add it there. And we done this certification part, right? Yesterday we have done this certification part. Let me show you again. So if I'm going to this particular vBond, so if you see here, admin, and if you go in the V shell, that is Linux mode. And if you do ls minus L, see this certificate is already available here. So the certificate part is available, right? Without any issue. And the next thing after certificate, what we have to do. So basically, we just have to generate the CSR from the vManage for this particular device. But before doing this CSR stuff, what else we have to do, right? So we cannot directly generate the CSR. We just have to follow one step, right? That step is, let me just write it here in this particular, where it is, we want, yes, this is, right? Let me just edit this one. So you cannot go directly and then, right? Here should be one step and add v.
So what is CSR?
Certificate signing request.
Okay.
Certificate signing request. So go to the vManage and add the vBond. Similar to below. Okay. So one step I'm going to add here. It is not there in the lab guide, so you might be confused. So what you have to do, go in the device, and after going in device, you have to go in the controller, right? So go into device. Let me just put here. Go to device, controller, and after controller, add controller, right? Add controller. Select vBond, right? So this is step we have to do. right? So I have to go in here and select the vBond. Then you just have to put IP address of the vBond. So what is the IP address of the vBond? So in this case, IP address is 123.10.10.11. So we just have to use. Any question, guys? Anyone having? Ramu, you joined just now.
Yes, sir.
Okay, no worry. We just starting the how to add the vBond into vManage, dashboard.
Okay.
So here I just have to use. I just have to put the IP address. What IP address? That is 123.10.10.11. So I just go there. I'll just put 123.10.10.11, and username again. It should be the admin, and the password is admin. So this step we just have to use here. So let me just snip it here, and I'll just put on the lab guide. So I can put it here. So this is how we can add the vBond. So if I try to add this vBond, it is going to fail. It is going to fail. Let me show you why. I'm just going to tell the reason. So if I'm adding this vBond, it is failed. Why it is failing? Because cannot add the vEdge as a controller. So I told beginning of the classes, whenever you are going to add any of the devices as a vBond, the image of the class, the image of the device will remain as a I mean to say that is a vEdge, or might be whatever the cEdge, vEdge, basically not the cEdge but vEdge. So right now this vBond is actually the vEdge. So vEdge cannot be added in the controller, right? It cannot be added under the controller. So what is the next step? What is the next step, and how can we avoid such kind of the behavior? So to make this happen, we just have to tell vBond in the CLI configuration, you are the vBond. We just have to define this special things on the vBond configuration. So how can we define that? So we just have to go on the system configuration. You just have to go in the configuration. And after going in configuration, you just have to go to the system configuration. And whatever the configuration I'm doing step by step, you try to do, else some error is going to be throughout. So don't actually go with the lab guides, whatever the step is written. Don't go and try to copy and paste this configuration in the first step, whatever I written here. This configuration should be on the last. Okay. So whatever the sequence I am telling in the video, just follow the video. You take the reference configuration from the lab guide. Okay. But you never try to put this system configuration in the first while doing this lab, because there is some kind of the image bug. The TFTP server is not going to work if you put this configuration first. So this is only happening in the lab. If in the production, it is not happening because this image having some kind of TFTP server bug. Okay, that is something I know that, and I keep telling to the people. So what I'm doing, just try to do that step only. Okay, so I'm going to tell this vBond, you are the vBond by using this particular command. So if I'm going to use in this system IP, and I'm saying what is my vBond detail. So vBond is itself, because I'm on the vBond and I'm going to configure the vBond. So I have to use the same IP address what I have, right? It's 11. But you just have to use another keyword, that is a local. If you once define this local, this device actually the vEdge image will become as a vBond. So you just have to commit. So I just done the commit. Now it's become the vBond. Without this command, it was not vBond. This router or this vBond was acting as a vEdge because the image was for the vEdge. So now if I am running the command show run system configuration, you can see system configuration having the one-liner command. And by using this command, we change the vEdge as a vBond. I'm again writing vEdge has been changed as a vBond by using command what is the vBond and what is the IP address? Local. So local keyword is going to add while doing the configuration. Is it clear? Might be this is going to ask in the interview. So you should be able to answer, right? How we can make the vBond as, sorry, vEdge as a vBond. So there is a single liner command. And if you are not going to add this command, you're never going to add this device under the controller because it is keep throwing you as an error, right? So this is how we can do that. So now if I'm going again on the dashboard and I will try again, generate CSR, leave it as it is, and I'll try again. And this time it will add it. You can see this time it will add it because now the vManage recognize that you are the vBond. So we are good. Once we have done this, what next? So we just have to generate the, certificate. If I try to run the configuration, there is no configuration is showing here because still we added, but still not fully, authorized, not fully functional. So what next? So as per the lab guide, you just have to go and follow these steps we have done, right? In this step we have done, this step is pending. This step partially done because we added this line configuration, okay? But we just have to go and generate the CSR. So without generating the CSR, we cannot do the further steps. So how the CSR is going to be generated? So we just have to go again here in the certificate, right? After going in the certificate, let me just add one more thing. Before adding the vBond at vManage, please make sure you change the you complete below CLI configuration at vBond, right? So what is that? Let me just add it here.
vManage na sir. After
Sorry.
vManage.
Yes, Deepak, tell me, what is that?
There is missing vManage, no? Only you are doing your manage.
Your voice is not very clear, Deepak.
vManage before
V-
adding the vBond at vManage.
yeah, it's correct. Before adding the vBond at the vManage, please make sure you complete the below CLI configuration at the vBond. It's correct.
Actually, you are written here manage on.
Oh, okay, okay. Sorry. I got it. Got it. Sorry for that. Yeah, let me just. Okay, okay. Okay, so this is, I make a note. So we done, right? So what we have to do, we just have to go here in the certification part. This is certificate and this is the controller, right? So now you can see this is the vBond. So when you do anything, you can see this time CSR has been generated because we already selected the CSR property while adding this vBond at vManage. So you just have to select. If you selecting on the vManage, let me show you. So your vManage will be the light yellow. So this is selected. You just have to click the vBond and you just have to view the CSR. If you generated while doing the onboarding process, then your certificate will show here. If you not do that, then you just have to generate the CSR. Likewise, vManage, what we have done yesterday. So today I'm going to use the view CSR. And after using the view CSR, what I have to do, CSR is certificate signing request. So Alim, yesterday I explained that once we see the first step was, let me just explain it again. I believe a lot of people having the question. So what was the happening here? Let me just explain it here. So the first step, this root CA, we know the function of the root CA is a centralized authority who issue the certificate. Issue cert. You know that once the certificate has been issued, right? That certificate has been installed at vManage, right? At vSmart, at vBond. We all agree? We don't done this? vSmart, vBond. So this certificate has been installed. So now it's time, your certificate has been installed, but how we can validate this is certificate what I have installed, it's the same source, same database, same organization, same authority which has been issued. So this certificate need to again signed with the root CA to get a final certificate, to get a final certificate. You understand? Likewise, the once the passport authority has been issued one passport, right? So you have a passport, you fly to Dubai, right? You fly to Dubai. So now once you reach to Dubai, based on your database, based on your boarding pass, right? Your passport, your visa. Now you're having some additional information. Dubai will going to contact your embassy, India embassy. Hey, this person landed to me. Can you just verify is it correct or not? So he will say final yes, he is okay. Then he will allowed to go inside the country. I hope you understand. It is happening. It is a real thing based on the global database. Same thing. You root CA issue the certificate for you. This is the root CA issue the certificate for you. You taken this certificate. It's my certificate. But once you start doing the validation for any control plane devices by using the certificate, you creating one of the signing request. That means the validation request. Validation request. You just creating one of the validation request based on your own host name, your own serial number, file number, whatever you have, right? And that validation request is going to come with a root CA. Root CA, that is based on the CSR. You generating the certificate signing request. CSR is just validation request. Once you are generating one certificate to validate, this is the CSR. And this is going to validate with the root CA. Root CA will validate your CSR and it will grant you the final certificate. That is, you are okay to land for anywhere. So this is happening in the SD-WAN fabric, and CSR is just helping to get the final certificate. Okay, Alim, clear?
Yes, sir, please.
Okay. Don't be confused. Just take in your mind. Likewise, that you just traveling somewhere in the world and you're having one passport. So before entering those country, even you having a certificate, those certificate must be validated from your country, right? So your country will authorize and give you the final confirmation that is as a certificate or might be the go ahead, you are okay and you can fly, you can go inside of the country. Same thing is happening here. This is something centralized who is issuing the certificate. So the next thing, we got the certificate. After getting the certificate, we just have to sign this certificate with the root CA. So what we have to send, what we have to do, we just have to again open a Gmail. Might I use this Gmail? Let me just open it. And after opening this Gmail, I will send this certificate to get this signed via the root CA. So Kamlesh, you are there?
Yes, sir.
Kamlesh,
Yeah.
you facing some issue while logging to the vManage?
Yes, it showing means incorrect many times.
Okay.
Incorrect username or password.
Let me check. Let me check.
सर और पहले भी वो 4 फेब वाली लैब बताती थी, अभी वो 24 या 26 फेब वाली लैब बता रही है मुझे.
कोई बात नहीं, अभी मैं आपको बताता हूँ, ठीक है? थोड़ा समय दो मुझे. हैंग ही हो गया। Let me check. इंटरनेट चलना चाहिए, इट्स नॉट वर्किंग। चल गया। Okay, so what we have to do, we just have to use this certificate, and this is the certificate which is issued by the vBond from the vManage. So we just have to send this certificate to get this signed via the root CA. So let me just do that. You guys also have to do the similar things by the internet, okay? So I will send it. Once I'll do, probably I'll get the email at this. Yeah, so I get it. So what I have to do, I have to get this signed. So how the signing is going to happen? To get this signed, you just have to use this command. You just have to go the root CA and you just run this command: crypto PKI server PKI request PKCS10 terminal. So let me just go on the root CA now. So I'll go there, and this is the root CA. And after going there, I will just copy this command. After copy, I'll just paste it, and see, this is the option where I have to paste the certificate information. This is my certificate information, and this is going to grant you the final certificate which need to install on the vBond. So I'll go here, paste it. You just have to press enter, and you just have to press quit. You see, this is your granted certificate. This is the final certificate made with the Indian government. Once the Dubai embassy, like immigration department, connected to me or India, they will grant you, yes, you are the right, with some kind of the code. So similar certificate. Now this certificate is okay, and you will be the allowed to enter in the country. Similar thing, this certificate has been granted by the root CA. Once I put this certificate information in this vManage, he will allow to do whatever you want to do. So I will just reply, and I will just paste this certificate and send it. Make sure no mistake should be happen, because if you are making the any mistake, that is not going to work for you. So this is my certificate. I will copy this certificate. No dot should be, left. And after copying this certificate, I will go in the vManage and make sure you selected this one. And after selecting this one, you just have to install the certificate. Here you just put the certificate. And once you install the certificate, you just click install. If everything is going to fine, this certificate is going to be installed. Just wait. See, this is successfully installed. So your life is good. And if you're moving to the dashboard again, you will see that you will have some vBond. But still this vBond is not showing, because what I said, every device, even you do the certification and the reachability, it should have the minimum IP, minimum configuration, that is system configuration, the 5 tuples. So that is still missing. We don't configure those tuple information, that is a 5 tuple information. So we just have to configure those 5 tuple information. See, after this, no need to do anything. Your certificate has been installed, and then all good. But still, we are missing something, which is 5 tuple configuration, system wise configuration. We just put this one and discuss this one later stage. No need to worry. Okay. So I will go here on the vBond, and after going on the vBond, what I have to do, I'll go in the configuration tree, and here I'll go in the system, and the host name of this device already changed. Host name is like vBond. If you want to change it again, it will take. Already we vBond detail already we have given. So system IP, I'll give behind that. What is system IP? So this is my system IP 10.123.10.8. 10.11, right? Site ID. What is my site ID? So site ID is 100, right? And organization name, make sure is the lab. And already we given the vBond detail because local, this command already we have given. So no required. So I'll commit it. So 5 tuple configuration has been done. Let me show you again. Show run system configuration. So you see 5 tuple means the host name is first, system ID is second, site ID is third, organization name is fourth, vBond is the fifth. So all 5 mandatory information has been configured at vBond. So once we done with this, probably there should be some kind of a change on the dashboard. Let me see. And you see here, your vBond is start showing here. Earlier it was not. So your vBond has been successfully onboarded on the SD-WAN fabric. Makes sense? So 2 control plane devices is up and working. Now it's time to do for the third one, that is a vSmart. So vSmart again process will be same. How vSmart is going to happen? So you just have to go in the device, and after going in a device, you just have to add the controllers. So if you opening the vSmart, let me just open the lab guide, vSmart. So where it is? Yeah, this is a vSmart. So this step would be the similar. Let me just copy and paste. This all not be the similar, but let me see what would be the all similar. So I will go here and this is not going to required. And this is going to required as the vSmart. So this also need to be changed as the vSmart. So what we have to do, this is need to be replaced. So we just have to go in the controller and add controller. And this time you just have to select the vSmart because we want already selected. So I'll select the vSmart. And here's the IP address of the vSmart should be, what is the IP address? Let me just check. It should be the 12. So I'll go and add 12 IP address here. And then username would be the admin. Password is admin. It will select 2 type of the tunnels, TLS or DTLS. So by default, it is going to default DTLS. And if you want to change the TLS, it is going to TLS as well. So TLS is based on the TCP, DTLS is based on the UDP. Okay, so these are the secure tunnel for the layer 4 communication or layer 4 based. So let them use DTLS. You're not going to change anything. And see generate CSR also copied here. So if I uncheck it, my certificate signing request from the like vBond or like with the vSmart to root C is not going to be generated by default. We just have to generate the manually. So let me just generate manually this time. So I'm adding, before adding, let me just take a snip so I can add the lab guide. So I will go there. This is. I will copy here. This has been done. So I will just add it here. And this is not going to ask any further detail because this is my vSmart and it has been added. No other information is going to require. Once we have done, we just have to go in the certificate. Once you go in the certificate, go in the controller. This is the vSmart. See, you just have to select the vSmart. Now, see the CSR generate not has been completed. So if you view here, there would be no certificate, right? Earlier there was a certificate. So what do we have to do? We just have to generate the CSR. Means you have to generate the certificate signing request, which needs to be validated by the root CA, and it will grant the final certificate. So I will generate the certificate. Once I'll generate, if I again view here, my certificate will be there. So I'll again copy the certificate from here and I will get this certificate signed via the root CS. So I will just reply. After replying, I will receive this certificate probably. See, this is certificate. So now I again have to go on the root CM, and probably I use the same command, crypto PKI server here, and I will just enter here. And now I just have to copy and paste this certificate. So I will just copy it. After copy, I will paste it and I'll enter and I'll quit. See, this is my granted certificate. So I'll copy this granted certificate again. And after copy this granted certificate, I'll reply it. Reply, I will send it. So this is going to be sent. And if you check here, you'll get the final certificate as a new mail. So I'll get the final certificate 0 minute ago. So I will copy this certificate again. After this copying the certificate, I will go on the vManage. Already selected the vSmart. See, this is light yellow. So I'll go in the install and I will install this certificate. So if all good, this is also going to be onboarded. So it is success. So now my another controller has been onboarded, right? vSmart. It is installed, but still there is no system IP, site ID because the 5 tuple parameter is still missing. We not done configuration. So that's why the vSmart is not showing here, right? So we just have to complete the 5 tuple parameter about the vSmart. So let me just do that. So I'll go here in the vSmart and I will log in it. After login, and we just have to do the 5 tuple parameter configuration. So what are the 5 tuple parameter? You just have to configure the organization name, system IP, vBond detail, and site ID and the host name. Okay. So one by one, let's do the configuration. So here I'll go and I'll go in the configuration team. I'll go in the system and what is the host name? This is the first name. So vSmart. This is my host name. What is system IP address? System IP address that is 10.123.10.12. 10.123.10.12. And what is the site ID? So again, it will be the 100 because it's a part of the controller. And what is the organization name? Fourth is the lab. And the last but not least, what is the vBond IP? So vBond IP is 123.10.10.11. So 10.10.11. This is my vBond IP address, and this is going to be commit. So my commit has been done. If you show run system configuration, your all 5 tuple information has been completed. 3, 4, and 5, right? So we are good, right? So let me just check what is happening for this controller on the vSmart. So if I just refresh, this should be onboarded, but let me just verify and you can see. So now this is also onboarded. My vSmart has been done. My vBond has been done, or vManage has been already done. So my control plane has been fully operational. So we build the control plane information, right? There is no like pending task. So what about the data plane devices, right? So data plane devices is your edges. You just have to onboard them also, right? So any question about the till the control plane? Because controller onboarding has been completed successfully and every device is functional now for the control plane. And we not have to do any other informations. You just have to do after these all tasks, just go on the certificate and send to the controller. So every device should be the sync. And now if you check in the device, so you can see every device is having the system IP address, site ID address, mode is the CLI. We'll discuss what is the CLI, and certification is installed, right? You can see here. So everything you can see about the certification and all part, right? And policy name, we not created anything, template, we not assign anything till now. So it is not going to show anything, right? Here, if you go and check your site ID, certificate serial number, it is everything showing here, right? So this is like how, your site ID and certificate serial number has been generated through the your root CM, which is issue the final certificate, and you can see the device IP also and system IP also. So even the 5-tuple configuration, it is just ticking. Clear? So the next thing, we just have to understand the underlay and overlay. What is the underlay? What is
Sir,
the overlay?
how many controllers we can add for redundancy?
So the redundancy, you just have to 2 controller for the vManage, 2 for the vBond, 2 for the vSmart. Minimum you can use 2. If using the 3 of cluster, 4 of the cluster, that is useless. But you should having a 2 cluster control plane devices. 2 vManage, 2 vBond, 2 vSmart.
Sir,
Okay,
maximum
Liv?
in a one cluster we can just add 6 vManage.
For that we just have to check data set. Different even iOS having different things. But if you're saying 6, that might be quite possible. Yeah, because I never seen people are using a 6, 2 or 3 maximum. But might be it can be used.
In single vManage, how many devices, edge devices we can manage?
It's around 1024 or something like that. Around 1000.
1000, sir.
1000, right? 1024 like that only we can manage from the one we manage.
vBond, vSmart also in that.
No, see, the devices is going to manage, configure, and do any kind of troubleshooting through the vManage. vSmart and vBond is like just not responsible to doing any kind of management task. vBond is just for the authentication, validation of devices. vSmart is just responsible to manage the routing and stuffs.
Sir, only 1 or 2 or 3 vBond or vSmart or vManage is sufficient to maintain the network. Otherwise,
Yeah.
if we add more, so it will consume the RAM processor, and we need hardware proper for that. 2 or 3 is
Yeah,
sufficient.
definitely. Only 2 or 3 maximum would be the fine, not more than that. Okay, so we are good till now. So let me just make you some understanding about the underlay and overlay. So the underlay is when I use the word underlay, that means you are building some kind of basic IP connectivity. So if you are going to build the basic IP connectivity, that is always known as the underlay. Basic IP connectivity, right? So whenever you do the basic IP connectivity, that always going to act as a underlay. And what's the overlay? Overlay something on top of the underlay, you are building some kind of a tunneling concept. Might be the OMP here, DTLS or TLS, right? You are going to use the IPSEC, right? These are the tunneling concept which is going to use in the SD-WAN, similar to the DMVPN, right? Similar to the VXLAN, similar to the LIPS, right? And what else? We just having GRE, right? So different tunneling protocol we having in a market, and whatever the tunneling protocol you are going to use, those are going to act as a overlay, right? So even in the SD-WAN, we just have to build first basic IP connectivity, which is going to act as an underlay. And without building this basic IP connectivity, you cannot, build the overlay. So let's say suppose I'm taking an example in this lab. If I'm going to take an example, and because our control plane has been up and working, so this control plane devices, so data plane devices, vEdge, want to communicate with the vManage, right? So how they can communicate? To communicate, this need to be built the TLS tunnel or DTLS tunnel. Without building this TLS and DTLS tunnel, they cannot talk, right? So the question is how the TLS and DTLS tunnel can be built, right? So the first thing, your vEdge should be reachable to this IP address. At least from this to this should be reachable via this ISP, or might be from this to this via this ISP. Either way, it should be reachable. Without making the basic IP connectivity, you cannot build any kind of tunnels. First, you should having a reachability, then you can build any kind of tunnel. So even you are going to build the IPSEC tunnel. So in IPSEC tunnel, let's say suppose you're having a scenario, we're having a two location. This is the R1 and this is the R2, right? In between you having the ISP, might be the one or might be the two ISP. This could be the Airtel and this could be the Verizon. They are connected to each other. They are connected to each other. They are connected to each other. And below that, you having a LAN. This is the LAN network. This is your LAN network. This having a subnet 192.168.10.0/24. This having a subnet 16.10.0/24. These are the private IP subnet. We all agree this is also private IP subnet. We all agree. So this private cannot be route over the public, because this IP which is going to terminate on the router, this will be the always public IP address, right? Sorry for that. Sorry. So this is going to be always public IP address. So this public IP address is must be reachable with another public IP address, which is going to be configured here. So this should be the public IP address. So once I'm using the public IP address communication, your responsibility, your ISP responsibility, this should be the first reachable. If they are not reachable, you cannot going to form any IPsec tunnel, right? Just give me 1 second. So you cannot able to build the IPsec tunnel until unless you are just going to make this your reachability, right? Public to public IP reachability. Once this public to public IP reachability has been done, should be reachable. Once they are reachable, you are able to build the IPsec tunnel. You are able to build the GRE tunnel. You are able to build the DMVPN, whatever you want. You are able to build the DTLS, TLS. You are able to build the OMP, whatever you want. But the first criteria, your ping should work. It could be via static route, right? It could be via the BGP or could be the MPLS. Any underlay protocols. These are the underlay protocols you can use, and make sure this is going to use between this. So that means even you are running and you are learning the SD-WAN, your basic networking concept should be still required. Without basic networking concept, you cannot do anything. So what is the basic networking concept? So basic networking concept, like you should know IGP, a little bit BGP, and what is the IGP, EIGRP, static, right? OSPF, right? RIP, and the BGP, you already know that. If you're having a little bit MPLS knowledge, that is also going to be add the additional advantage. But at least you should know a little bit about the static routing in the BGP. So you know how to build the underlay connectivity. So same thing is going to happen. Same thing is going to happen in our lab. In our lab, what is going to happen? This VS3 need to talk with this controllers. This controller need to talk. So there is two gateway to talk this controller. One is via this iNet to this particular controller. One is from the MPLS. So first requirement is, you can see there is the public IP address. Might be you just consider this IP as a public IP address. This should be reachable to this public IP address. Once they are reachable, then only you can form the tunnel between these two devices. So tunnel is going to be required. So how I can make them reachable? First thing, how I can make them reachable. So first your ISP should be reachable to this. Then your ISP should be reachable to this. And then you just have to make the reachability between this to this. So let's complete the configuration. The first, you can see this DC switch having this ISP connection from this subnet. Okay, so we just have to configure this DC switch. So let me just go there and I will just go on DC switch. And if I run show IP interface brief configuration, you will see there is no IP configure on this particular interface. Okay, so what I will do, I will go on the interface GI0x0. This is the interface. This is the layer 2 interface. If I try to give the IP address, it is not going to take. So IP address it is not taking. You can see here. So we just have to run command no switch port. Just make this port is a layer 3. And after that, I will assign the IP address, and the IP address. Let me just do one thing. No logging console. The message we are getting, that is not good. So let me just go again on the interface GI1x0. And I will add the IP at no switch port. So no switch port is just making the port as a L3, and now I can assign the IP address 192.1.20.2. I'll assign here, and all subnet one should be one here for this subnet, one here for this subnet. From this subnet, one should be here. From this subnet, one should be. So every subnet one should be the ISP end. 2 or 3 we can use the different other sites, right? So I'm just going to use 2 on the DC switch, and the subnet mask will be 255.255.255.0, and the no shut, right? So I have done this. So once I have done, I hope audible, right? You guys are able to like listen me.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this is what I have done, this configuration of this particular router or switch, and this IP has been assigned. The same subnet of the IP I need to assign on this iNet router. So how can I do that? So let me just open this iNet router. So this iNet router has been opened. So there is no configuration as I promise. Everything is default. So I need to assign the IP address. So I can go here and I'll just change the host name as a iNet, right? And once I did that, I just need to assign the IP address on this particular interface. So interface Ethernet 0x1. I need to use IP address 192.1.20.1 because 1 need to assign. 2 I assign here, so 1 I need to assign here. I 255.255.0 and no shut, right? I'll try to ping the switch IP address should be reachable .2. Let me just check. Yeah, it is reachable. So this router is now able to ping this switch. Okay, makes sense. Next task is we just have to configure this interface from this subnet. Okay, so at least they could be the reachable. So let me just do that. Let me just first enable the no logging console. So what I'll do, I'll go on this interface Ethernet 1x2 interface Ethernet 1x2, and you can see this interface should have this IP address 192.1.3.1. So I'll go here, one IP address 192.1.3.1, 255.255.255.0, and no shit, right? Do right. So we done with the 2 interface configuration, right? I hope it is clear to everyone. And these are the WAN and IP address for the ISP. So let me just show you again. So one is configuring, one is going, this IP we configured, this one is configured to this interface, and this one is configured to this interface. From here to here it is reachability. But what about the VS3? VS3 interface also needs one IP address on this G04, then only they can able to ping. Without IP address, how can it will be ping? So now I have to go on the vEdge, right? I have to go on the vEdge and I have to do some configuration. So how can I do that? I just need to click on the vEdge, and after clicking on the vEdge, I just go there. There will be no configuration, right? See, it is asking the first time. You just have to change the password. So this is like what? There is no configuration. So if there is no configuration, we can start doing the configuration for the vEdge. So the first thing, you guys tell me, I have to configure this interface. Then how can I configure this interface? What to do the command? Who is going to tell me? I just want to check you guys are able to recall
VPN
something.
0 we can create. Transport
Okay.
VPN.
Okay, the VPN, good. Alim, VPN 0. We just have to use, right? Transport VPN. Okay, so without VPN 0, we cannot configure the WAN interface, right? We know that. We understand we having the VPN 5 and 2 for the management, right? MGMT. We having the VPN 1 through 511, 513 to 65527 for service VPN. And service VPN is for the LAN, and this is for the WAN, right? So we are doing the WAN connection. We are building the connection with the ISP. So always you just have to go on the VPN 0, right? So I'll go on the VPN 0 and then I'll use the interface, and this interface is GE0/4. And then I have to assign the IP address, that is 192.168.3.2 I can assign, or might be I can assign 3, any of the IP address. Let me assign the 2. So this has been done. So my IP assignment has been done. And if I commit, my commit has been done. Now if I'm going on the ISP side router, and if I try to ping this IP address, and it should be reachable. So if I try to ping this IP address from here, okay, so you guys see this is not reachable, right? But if I'm trying to go here, and if I try to ping the another side router IP address, oh, actually what I have done, we assign the IP
VPN.
address, but this is not VPN. This interface is shut down. Let me show you. Because if you show run configuration, see this is a shutdown. So this is no shut command I never issued. So let me just go and issue the command. So no shut is also very important. I have to go in the VPN 0, and I just have to go there and no shut, right? And then I'll commit. Let me check it again. Still not reachable. No problem. Actually, I'm using the wrong IP address. This is something not a correct IP address. That should be the 3.1, and I'm pinging something wrong. Okay, 3.2. So let me just 3.2. I know why it is creating a problem, because here is again IP is wrong. Let me just correct the IP address. It should be 191.1, not this. Show run VPN 0. So this is looks fine. Let me just try it again and see it is reachable. So I make some wrong IP address configuration, and that's why it was not reachable. I make 192.168 should be the 1.3.2, and here 1. And now if I go here and try to ping that provider end side IP address .1, it should be also reachable. You can see it is reachable. But still job has been not done from this router point of view. We make the reachability, right? We make the reachability. But now this router is able to reach this. Will this able to ping this IP address? Because we just have to build the underlay connectivity. We should able to ping from here to here. If you are not able to ping here to here, they are not going to form any tunnel. So let's understand one by one. From here to here, we are able to ping. Are we able to ping from this IP address or not? Who is going to answer? If we can ping, then how we can ping? If not, then why we cannot ping? Just I want to analyze your static routing or whatever the routing concept you have. Because this router able to ping this IP interface, which is configured on here. And if I try to ping this IP address, let me just try to check this one. Ping dot 192.1.20.1. This is also not reachable.
Need to
So-
declare next hop, no?
For which?
For DC switch.
DC switch next hop. Okay.
No, after actually for static routing.
Okay. So which next hop shall we use?
If you are configuring on vEdge or otherwise here, if you are configuring on iNet, then you can also without advertise how packet will be.
Okay. Okay. Got it.
Do the
Any
default
other?
routing at the vEdge and do the static routing for v3 from the net side, as
Mhm.
well do the static routing from net side to the DC, and from the DC do the default routing to the net side.
Very nice. Very nice. So the first step, let me explain. From the vEdge point of view, I'm trying to reach this subnet. Okay. This 192.1.20.0. Do you have any route? Let me just check. So IP route. So this having only one subnet route for this one. So you just have to use the routing for this one or this one, then only it will try to reach. There is no routing, so we cannot go anywhere. So because we are going on the internet, okay, we are going on the internet from this vEdge3 point of view. So we can use one of the default route just to make that everything. If you want to go any destination, just go on the internet router, and internet router will take care rest of the things. So for that, you just have to configure the default route. So in lab guide, if you see that, if you go in the vEdge configuration, right? So few things you'll get such kind of the default route you just have to configure, right? Under the VPN 0. So we'll have to go in the VPN 0. And after going on the VPN 0, we just have to configure the, let me just go and here, go in the VPN 0 and configure the IP route. The default route should be the always VPN 0 because we are making the reachability through the WAN transport. So we are just going to use the default route because we are going to make the connection over the static route. And next stop should be this ISP interface IP address. So we'll make it this and we'll commit. So now if I check, if I want to go any of the destination, I should have one of the routing that is a default static route, which is saying, if you want to go anywhere, just go on this ISP. Okay. So if I try to ping again the same IP address 20.1, which is configured on this interface, let me check. See, it is start pinging. So from this router till this interface, I am able to ping. But if I try to ping this IP address, which is configured on DC switch, will it ping? Let me just check. So it is not pinging. So your packet is coming. Your packet is coming from here with this source till this router, this source having the information because it's directly connected. But once this packet reaches to this doesn't know how to go to this source because they don't have the reverse routing, right? So again, it is connected to the internet. So we can put the default route pointing to the internet. So then you can see the similar thing. I'll go in the DC switch. And in DC switch, I'll go and configure the static default route. So IP route 0.0.0.0, 0.0.0, and here will be 192.1.20.1 because this is the next stop for this one. Okay, so I have done this. Once I have done, see, it is start pinging. So my reachability has been formed from here to here. Okay, you all fine? Now the question is, will I able to reach this VLAN? Let me just try to check. This VLAN is configured on this DC switch. Let me show you. This VLAN is configured on this DC switch. So this is my VLAN. And if I try to ping from here, and this is not reachable. Who is going to answer why it is not reachable? This subnet is not reachable. Any good troubleshooting? We make the connection. We put the default static route here. This router doesn't having any configuration, right? Only interface configuration have. And this also put the reverse route, but still this VLAN is not reachable. Any guess? Any
I
idea?
think on DC switch gig 1/0, we need to give the inter VLAN routing.
Why inter-VLAN routing? These are the
Communicate.
complete the static default route. Inter-VLAN routing is required on the L3 switch. Na? These are the not VLANs. They are the L3 interfaces by default. This is directly connected. Na? No inter-VLAN concept is going to required here. Any guess?
Need to make SVI.
Need to make SBI. Where? SBI is created now. This SBI is already created.
Yes.
This is already created. See, this is created up and working. If I ping it from here, it's underlay. We just have to build underlay. We just have to make reachability. So these are the three devices. vEdge. We just put everything default pointing to this router, and everything default pointing to this router, right? From reverse and forward point of view. But still, I'm not able to ping, and this router doesn't having any configuration except the interface level configuration. Let me show you again. And you also managing this internet, and you're just having a task to make the reachability. How can you make that? See, there is no routing. See, only the static route that is pointing to this internet. And why it is pointing? Let me just set this interface. Let me just interface ETH0/0. This is also not going to required, but I just stated it. From DSCP, they have given the IP address. Okay. So if you see here, it is unreachable. Even it is unreachable. Okay. So there's no problem. It is unreachable, not pinging. Okay. So this is unreachable. Let me just go here, show IP route. There's no routing. Nothing is there. So it is unreachable. Any guess? Now you guys tell me, hope by hope. This is going to ping, right? This is going to ping. What is my source IP address? Who is going to tell? I want to, your concept should be very clear. What is my source IP address from the vEdge?
192.1.3.0.
3.2, not 0.
Yeah,
Because,
yes.
192.1.3.2. This is source IP. What is destination IP address we are trying? 123. 10.10.1. This is your packet, right? So you transfer this packet from here to here. This will check the destination for this one. Do you have the routing for this destination or not? This vEdge having a routing for this destination or not? बताओ आप लोग ऐसे क्यों साइलेंट हो रहे हो आप लोग?
नो, इसके राउटिंग टेबल पे नहीं है ना?
है मेरे दोस्त, है तो कैसे नहीं है?
vEdge के राउटिंग टेबल में है।
देखो ना, डिफॉल्ट राउट डाल रखा है ना हमने। वी जस्ट पुट डिफॉल्ट राउट, सारे कुछ है ना इसमें, सारा डेस्टिनेशन कवर हो जाएगा डिफॉल्ट राउट में। तो वी हैव, मेक सेंस, वी हैव द राउटिंग।
इंटरनेट के ये राउटर के पास है, नेक्स्ट राउटर 192.168।
यहाँ तो क्लियर हो गया ना, यू क्लियर ना कि मींस दिस vEdge having a routing, it is going to send packet to this one anyhow, because any destination you just trying to reach, it is having a default route, it is going to cover any destination, it is going to send to this router।
ये राउटर के पास, ये राउटर के पास भी है नेक्स्ट हॉप जो बन रहा है इसका, इसके पास।
Okay, I'm going a step by step. So we all clear, this router having this destination route, all agree for this? Anyone having any confusion? समझ लो, this is very important. Okay, बिकॉज ये जब तक समझ नहीं आएगी तो आप लोगों को थोड़ा सा राउटिंग में दिक्कत रहेगा. सो वी आर सेंडिंग द पैकेट फ्रॉम दिस vEdge टू till ISP internet router. Okay, so my packet has been moved and reached to here. But what about the iNet? What about the iNet? iNet having any route for this destination? Any route for
No.
this destination?
No.
No, because they don't have even the default route, no specific route. So how it is going to do? It is simply drop your packet na, here itself. It is just going to drop your packet because they don't know how to reach. So you just have to tell na, this router also how to reach. So what you can do is just define the one of the static route. Not I'm going to define the default route. I'm just going to define the static route. IP route 123 10.10.0 255 255.0. Next shop should be, this is 20.1 2, sorry, because this is a DC switch. So now I have done. So now this router having this routing information. So your packet, now your packet once reached to this particular device, if your packet is reaching to this device, this is going to get one of the routing table, which is this one. See, this route is available. And it is saying, if you want to go this subnet, just go to this subnet. Okay. So now your packet will reach to this DC switch, and this switch already having a reverse because he need to reply to who reply. This destination need to reply. So already they having a default route pointing to this one, and this subnet is already connected to this interface. So your packet will be through. So let me try it again. So I'll go on this VS3, and if I try to ping it again, see, my reachability has been done. Okay. So now I'm able to ping from this to this. All okay. So I have the underlay reachability from the VS3 to my DC switch. But what about this IP address? If I try to reach this one, will it going to ping or not? Who is going to answer me?
No. रीजन vManage के पास भी आईपी एड्रेस होना चाहिए ना, रिवर्स राउट.
इसके बाद
vManage के पास.
vManage के पास. Okay.
Will give default route on vManage.
Okay. Yes. So see, it is not pingable because your packet reach your source, this one, destination, this one. So your packet will reach till here. Okay. But when it is trying to reply, they don't have any path to go out, right? For you don't know about this destination because your source will become destination in the reply packet. So it is not going to understand. So that's why in the lab guide also, we just have to add this default route. Okay. So we just have to add everything pointing toward DC switch, and DC switch already having a default route pointing toward internet. So you just have to go on the vManage and you just have to.
Sir, I have a query.
Yes, tell me.
Sir, if we keep vManage, vBond, vSmart in a single VLAN on the DC switch, then we give the inter VLAN through the gig.
There is no inter VLAN. They are all the same VLAN, Smith. There is no inter VLAN, मेरे दोस्त. कोई इंटर विलन यहाँ नहीं चल रहा है. कहाँ इंटर विलन आपको दिख रहा है? इंटर विलन का मतलब होता है कि मेरे पास एक विलन 10 है, राइट, और एक विलन 20 है. अब इसको मुझे इन दोनों में कम्युनिकेशन कराना है तो इंटर विलन राउटिंग होती है. यहाँ तो विलन एक ही है 123, बाकी तो अलग अलग सबनेट है, बाकी तो राउटिंग हो रही है सारी यहाँ पे. समझ रहे हो? तो आप अपने इंटर विलन दिमाग से अपने बाहर निकालो. पहले तो इंटर विलन यहाँ हो ही नहीं रहा है, पहले निकालो. इंटरविलन का मतलब ये होता है, देखो रुको, इंटरविलन का मतलब ये होता है, मैं कल से आपके क्वेश्चन सुन रहा हूँ, आई वांट टू जस्ट मेक यू करेक्ट, कि ये मेरा स्विच हो गया, ठीक है. अब इस स्विच पे मेरे पास दो होस्ट हैं, एक पीसी है, ये 10 है, और एक पीसी मेरे पास 20 है. इसका सबनेट है 10.10.10.10/24 और इसका सबनेट है 20.20.20/24, एंड यू नीड टू मेक द कम्युनिकेशन. दिस इज अ लेयर 2 स्विच, राइट. ये पोर्ट आपने विलेन 10 को डाल दिया, ये विलेन आपने 20 को डाल दिया. सो दे विल कम्युनिकेट टू ईच अदर. द आंसर इज नो, because we having a two different layer 3 interface and you want to make the communication via the switch. So switch is not going to allow the communication if this is a layer 2 switch. So we are taking consideration as a layer 2 switch. So now again we require the layer 3 devices. That could be the router. So this router will just going to form, this port is going to act as a trunk. And this trunk will pass the VLAN 10 and 20 toward the L3 interface. And this L3 interface, you just have to do the inter-VLAN routing. Inter-VLAN routing. You just have to create two .1q interface, .1q interface, which we call the sub interface. And here you just make for 10 and here you make for 20. So this PC want to talk with this PC, they will go on the L3, they will check the routing and they will come to talk to this. If this PC want to go here and they will go and they will come to here. So this is inter-VLAN routing, right? For the layer 2 scenario. If let's say suppose you having another scenario and there is no router, this is the switch, but this switch is a layer 3 switch. Again, you having again the PC 10, again you having a PC 20, right? This having the IP address same /24, this having the IP address same /20. These need to talk. This L3 switch having the routing same time, they can understand the routing. So once the packet will go there, it will check the routing as a SVI. The SVI would be created for the VLAN 10 and 20 both at the same time. So no need to do anything. By default, IP routing you just have to enable and the inter-VLAN routing is going to be enabled and the both will going to talk to each other because they are the directly connected subnet. So this is how inter-VLAN routing is going to work in a two different scenario. You understand, Sumit, this one?
Thank you.
Yeah. So here we are not using the inter-VLAN routing. Try to understand what I'm trying to say. There's no inter-VLAN routing. These are the same subnet, same broadcast domain. Okay. So VLAN 123 is just connected for the your LAN, not LAN control plane. You can think about the LAN devices, right? But you having another subnet, which is the WAN connection. So we just have to make these two subnet reachability over the routing protocol. So directly connected subnets. Okay. So we just have to go there in the vManage and I have to go in the configuration and I have to go in the VPN 0 and I just have to use the IP route 0.0.0.0 /24, not /24. And here the next hop would be 123.10.10.1. And we just have to copy and paste everywhere. So let me just commit it. So my commit has been done. And if I go there in the VS3 again, see, it is start pinging. See, now if I try to ping 11, it is not pinging. So what is 11? vBond. So I'll go on the vBond also. And I just have to log in, admin. And if I go in the configuration, VPN 0, I'll push the same route because everything is same. Once I do, see, it should be the start pinging. See, it is start pinging. So vBond also completed. Now, if I go on the vSmart 12, see, so it is not pinging. So what is the vSmart? This one. So I'll log in it again. Log in it again. Config T. Sorry, VPN 0. Commit. Right. So once I do that, it should be start pinging very soon. See, it's a start pinging. Similar to the root CA. If I try to root CA, the 13, it would not ping. So again, I have to put the root CA again as a default route. So root CA I'll go because root CA also reachability because they also need a certificate, same certificate. So here I'll use the IP route. And the format would be the legacy one. See, once I done, so reachability has been built. So now this B is having the full reachability with the controllers. You all agree? Anyone having any doubt with the our internet ISP? Still MPLS is not up and working. So internet ISP, we having a reachability from the VS to the controller. So the next thing, once we have the reachability, we just have to do the certification part. So again, this is going to require the certificate. Again, this is going to require the certificate. Without certificate, we cannot do anything. So now again, we have to copy the certificate from my root CA. Similar step, what we have done, certificate everywhere is going to reply, required, not reply. So once I have reachability, so I can copy the certificate from this root CA to this vEdge. So I have to go there and I have to go in the vShell and I just use this command. And once I do, see, my certificate has been copied. You can see one certificate has been copied. I just have to install this certificate in my root cert chain. So I just have to go there and install this certificate. So I will just go and exit it here and install this certificate. So once the certificate has been installed, again, I have to generate the certificate signing request. Same, but this time I'm not going to generate from the vManage GUI because these devices will be not visible until they are authenticated to the devices. So there's no provision we can do via the CLI. If you want to, sorry, the GUI, unless you're having the vManage list available from the Excel file from the your ISP, not ISP, the Cisco. So here we just have to generate the CSR by adding this command. So again, the process will be same, but it is like CLI more. The certificate signing request, we just have to generate. Once the certificate signing request will be generated, we just have to get this certificate signed from the roots here. So I'll use this organization name lab. Sorry. And this is again lab. This is going to generate one certificate. So if I check later what is certificate has been generated in the V shell, so it will show the certificate. So I'll go in the V shell, and if I ls-l, it will show the certificate. This is my certificate signing request. So if I am trying to use this certificate more CSR, it will show certificate. This certificate need to shine with the your root CA. How? Let me show you. So same command, whatever the command you use earlier, this command you have to use. And after using this command, you just have to copy this certificate, right? And paste it. Wait, you'll get the granted certificate. So your certificate has been signed. So Lim, just hold on. J2E process we'll discuss later. Okay. J2E process we having a dedicated class. Wait, we will discuss later stage.
So,
So
sir, here we are giving to the console only. We are taking the console, then only real time also we will do like this only.
no, real time you don't have to do this. Real time you rarely have to do this. Real time your life will be too easy. Real time even you don't have to do whatever I'm doing here. These all are useless. But you should know they are going to ask in the interview.
But certification is required in edge device also. That time where it will be get, how it will be get.
I told yesterday 30 minutes to you. Again you forget. I told the all process yesterday. Can you just watch the recording? How the certification is going to happen even you are using the J2E process. Just watch one time recording and let me know next class, okay? If you not get this, okay? Because I told this all in very detail yesterday class. Okay.
Okay.
Try to write down in the notepad when I'm saying something, because we discussed a lot of things about the certification part. There's two way of the certification. One is the manual, one is the automated process. So how automated process is going to happen? I show the document as well. So try to write down, okay?
Okay, sir.
Okay, please. Else if I'll repeat, then again, this is going to make a loop. So this is what J2E process again I'll discuss. This is a new topic, means there is a dedicated module. So in J2E process, I'll explain everything. No need to worry. So here is a granted certificate. Once I have the granted certificate, what next I have to do? So the same thing. Once you have a granted certificate, you just have to go on the vEdge and use this command. No need to remember, just copy and paste. Just copy and paste this command on the vEdge and in vShell mode. And once you copy and paste, whatever the granted certificate you get from the root CA, just paste that also. So we copy the certificate, then you just have to see everything is written here. Once you paste it here, just you just have to hit it here. You just have to hit 2 times enter. Okay, so just I have to hit 1, 2, hit enter. My certificate has been copied in the vEdge, which is a granted certificate from the root CA. So now we are good. and we can install the final certificate. So we just have to exit from the vCell, and after exit, we just have to request certificate, install home, admin, and then you just have to use the certificate name pki.ca. This is certificate, not the pki.ca. We just have to create a cert file, because after the creating this cert, we just have to use the cert file. pki dot just has been changed the CSR file. CSR has been signed to the root CA, and then finally we get the cert file. So cert file, and then it is going to install. So my certificate has been installed. Now, if I run the show certificate serial, this is how serial number we get for this certificate. So this is my serial number. So we just have to copy this serial number, and after copy, we just have to paste it here. And we having a one format. This is the format. This certificate serial number and chassis number, you just have to tell your vManage and vBond. I have someone who having this certificate serial number and chassis number. This is serial number. You just have to replace from this one, and this is your this is chassis number. This is serial number .5, and you just have to copy this, and you just have to tell vBond just here in this way, and vManage also. You just have to tell this. You have to do. So your certificate chassis number and serial number has been generated, and after doing this, you are good. So my onboarding process of the vEdge has been completed, but still they are not going to show me the dashboard. Why? Because this device is probably not having all required configuration. Okay. So what are the all required configuration? So if you go in the lab guide again, this step is still required to do. But before that, we completed this certification part. We'll get the certificate serial number, and we get the chassis number. Based on the serial number and chassis number, we just installed it from the we just tell this information to vManage and the vBond manually. But in production, it should be the automatic, because it will automatically sync. The next thing you have to do, you just have to do the system-wise configuration, because this is still pending, and without doing the system-wise configuration, it is not going to complete. And additionally, the WAN interface you completed, you just have to allow the tunnel interface, encapsulation, and the color, and some kind of the services. So let me just first complete the system configuration, and then we'll discuss this one again. Okay, what is that? So I'm going to here, because system configuration you guys know. So here I'll go and I will use the host name. Sorry, I have to go in system, and the host name is the vEdge3. This is my host name. System IP I can use, that is 10.3.0.1. See here, this is the system IP. It is already written 10.3.0.1. So we just have to use those IP address, right? Organization name, it should be the lab. vBond detail, that should be again the same IP address 123.10.10.11. This is my vBond, right? And what else? System IP, you just have to use system IP. 5 things. System IP would be system IP already taken, right? Host name, organization name, vBond. What is missing? Site ID we missing. Site ID. So site ID is 3 here. Okay. So we're done with the configuration. So now we are done with the system configuration. So we are done with the system configuration. All 5 parameters we define 3, 4, 5. So we are good. But if you check about the VPN 0 configuration, still my VPN 0 configuration is not complete. Okay. So in VPN 0 configuration, you can see this is my WAN interface G0x4, but this doesn't having any configuration for the tunnel and all. So one thing you just have to understand, whenever you define any of the WAN interface, you should know one of the concept, that is a TLOC. We should know one of the concept TLOC, which is known as a transport locator. Right. So this TLOC having a 3 tuples, right? three tuples. What are the three tuples? First is like encapsulation. Second one is the color. And third one is a system IP. You got it? TLOC having a three tuples. That is the encapsulation, color, and system IP. Any question till here? Let me just open the PPT for that also. So we'll try to do some kind of a deep dive. Let me see. There is something written here about this. Okay, leave it if it just doesn't have. System IP. Yeah. So few things you just have to take care. We just have to OMP protocol. We having a transport locator. We having a color. We having a site ID. We having a system IP. We having organization name and VPN. VPN we understand, but what about others? Right? We just have to understand other things also, other terminologies also. Let me see what is written here. So I'll explain one by one all terminologies, how it is going to happen. So allow me some time. Let me just check the documentation also if I am not missing something. We are going on the right pace. So this is all about configuration. Okay, might be somewhere in the PPT. So we just have to understand one by one everything. So the first thing, overlay management protocols, right? So we'll discuss this one later. Okay. Now you understand what is a TLOC. So TLOC is just transport attachment point, right? And the next hop route attributes. So if you heard about the BGP, they use the next hop attribute, right? By using the next hop attribute, you should know how to reach to the any destination route and what is the next hop for those destination route. Similar in the SD-WAN, we having a TLOC that is known as a transport locator. This transport locator having a three tuples, that is encapsulation, color, and the system IP address. So by using these three tuples, you can make a decision. What is my next hop? So let's say suppose this router is advertising some kind of the route to another location. So they will advertise the route along with three information. What is my system IP address? What is my encapsulation? And what is my color? So let's understand one by one what mean that, right? So if I go here, so if I try to write here color encapsulation, it could be the IPSEC or GRE. This two type of the encapsulation we have. System IP address, just think about the similar to router ID. Okay. So whenever you configure the router ID, it is similar to the router ID and unique to the box. One box having one system IP. You cannot configure the multiple system IP for the routers. So system IP unique to the box and one system IP should be configured only at a one time on the any type of the box. To the vEdge, it could be the cEdge, anything, whatever you're thinking, you just have to use a system IP address. And the color is, it could be the anything. What could be the color? It could be the MPLS, right? It could be the internet, like it could be the public internet. It could be the beach internet. with the private, red, silver. It's what that means. We just have to understand. So whenever you are buying any of the circuit, right? Let's say suppose you having a two circuit, this circuit and this circuit. So how you can classify which circuit having what color? To just identify them, differentiate them. We know one is the MPLS circuit, you know one is the internet circuit, but how router will come to know? How this router will come to know this is the MPLS and this is the internet? So we just have to tell the router by using some color parameters, right? So you can see if I'm going on this particular interface, right? If I'm going on the VPN 0, and if I'm going on the interface, this one, there is an option. You just have to make tunnel interface. Why tunnel interface command is required? Even you're not allowing, this is going to by default enable on the WAN interfaces, right? So tunnel interface is very important, because if you're not going to issue this command tunnel interface, they are not going to form the tunnel. What tunnel? There is two type of tunnel. First is the IPSEC tunnel. They are not going to form. And second is the DTLS and TLS tunnel. So once you issue this command tunnel interface, they will try to form these two type of tunnels. So tunnel interface is must. You just have to configure tunnel interface. Every WAN interface router, you just have to issue the command tunnel interface. Tunnel interface done. Now there is option color. If you check in the color, we having a multiple color. We having the beige interface 3G, blue, bronze, custom 1, 2, 3, default, gold, GRE, green, and LTE, Metro Ethernet, public internet, MPLS, red, silver, private 1, private 2, and private 3, private 4, private 5, private 6. So these are the all colors. That means whatever you have a color, for that much color you bring the circuits. So if you want to add the 10 circuits on this particular WAN router for the WAN, every circuit should have the unique color. So router will come to know which circuit is using for what. So right wise, my circuit having a two, one is the MPLS, one is the public internet. So I can put MPLS color for this one and public internet for this one. Or I can use the private color for this one or beige internet for this one. Or I can use for bronze, blue, whatever I want. But color should be the unique for the both of the circuit. It should be not be the same. Even you are going to give the same color, it is not going to take. Okay. So I can use this color for this my particular interface as a public internet because I want to make it a unique. So I can go here and I'll use the public internet because this is my internet, right? So one thing we have done, that is the color information, right? So TLOC having a 3 tuples, two configuration we have done. System IP already we configured, right? And color now we define for this particular circuit. What left with the third? So the third is your encapsulation. So encapsulation should be either GRE or IPSEC. GRE is not secure, IPSEC is secure. So just use the IPSEC, right? So 3 tuples has been done. Allow services you have done. Internal interface you have done. Allow services you just have to use all. Let me just commit and tell you what all configuration I have made. So if I am running show run VPN 0 configuration, this is the configuration for the interface. So who all understand about the TLOCs? What is TLOC? If someone is going to ask in the SD-WAN, what is TLOC? So आप लोग कैसे उसको define करोगे? आप लोग बताओ हिंदी या इंग्लिश में? कौन बताएगा? किसको समझ आया?
TLOG is the interface which is facing to the WAN interfaces.
Yes, that's correct. TLOC is something that is facing toward the WAN interface.
Or associated with the WAN interface.
Towards to WAN interface. Okay.
Sir, as we have internet connect links, so same we have TLOCs.
Okay. Internet link should have TLOC, right? It having 3 tuple, right? You just have to remember What is those?
encapsulation.
System IP encapsulation and your color. You always have to mention, right? Three information, and it is always going to be unique. So just think this router having a tooling. So how it is going to understand what is my TLOC for the MPLS and what is my TLOC for the internet. So if you try to write for this VS point of view, two TLOC. First TLOC is what is? That is a public internet, public INT, and that should the color is the IPSEC, and your system IP is 10.3.0. And the second one is MPLS, and that IPSEC, and that system IP is 10.3.0.1. So two parameters common for me. This one is common for me, but one is a unique parameter. That is a color. One having the public internet, one is the MPLS. So any of the LAN subnet route, whenever it's going to advertise from this vEdge, it will, if it is advertising from the MPLS, it will carry this information while the route. I'll show you how it is going to carry. If it is advertising from the private internet, or sorry, public internet, it is going to carry this in attributes with the routes. So this router will come to know what is the next hop. When it is going to reply, it will check it is coming from the public color, encapsulation is IPsec, and the system IP is this. So he will just reply via the next hop to this router. We'll see how it is going to happen in the later stage. So now my configuration has been done for the TLOCs, right? The second command I use for the allow services all, you guys know, because if I not use this command, might be some services is going to block, right? So we just want to avoid those blocking. So we just use allow services all. This encapsulation and color was just TLOC system IP they have taken from the system configuration. This is the IP address. These by default they have taken, right? So no need for this one. Okay. It by default, when you just make the terminal interface, this commands automatically going to appear on the interface. So now we are okay. So now if I'm going to again on this particular vManage, you can see my vEdge has been onboarded successfully. You can see here my vManage device is onboarded because they having the all required information. So they have it onboarded. You can see everything is showing what is my version, what is my chassis ID, what is my serial number, everything it is showing. So last step you have to do once it is start showing on your control plane devices, you just have to do one thing. You just have to go on the configuration part and you have to send this to the controller. Why? Because if I go here and I try to run the command show control connection, it formed, but sometime it not formed until you just send this information. So how you can send this? So if I go here and if I go in the certificate, and this is the vEdge, so you just have to click send to the controller. This is the final step you have to do. So your controller will know about the VS3 devices. You can see they having that, TLS and DTLS connection with the vBond and vManage, but not vSmart. So vSmart only come to know once you have done this step. So now if I run this command, see your vSmart also form the DTLS tunnel. See, so now your controller is form the TLS and DTLS tunnel with your devices. Let me just make you a little bit small. So you guys can see in detail. So now understand this. So if you see the control connection, this control connection, your vSmart is forming the DTLS connection, your vBond is forming the DTLS connection, your vManage is forming the DTLS connection. And this is the public IP address of these all controllers. And this is the color, right? They are forming the connections. So this is how they are bringing the connection. This is the control connection. Control connection is something by using the control connection, you can build the, your tunnels for the DTLS and TLS till the controllers. So anything you are making the changes on the controller, they will push you through the tunnel, right? So this tunnel is going to be important. But one thing also we have at the same time, we just have to run so OMP peer. So this is the routing OMP tunnel protocols, right? This is something you are making the one of the another tunnel with the vSmart to the vBond. So this is also, it is very important. So you can see here in the PPT, you having the overlay management protocol, we having a transport locator, we having the color, and you can see color plane tag used for the IPSEC tunnel establishment logic, site ID, right? System IP, organization name, and VPN. We know that. But if you go in little bit and we talk about overlay management protocol. So what is overlay management protocol? So overlay management protocol is a routing protocol which is used by the SD-WAN fabric, and this routing protocol is going to run between where? It is going to run between the vSmart to the VS devices. So we having a 4 type of devices. Let me just write here. So we having the vSmart, we having the vManage, we having the vBond, and we having the vEdge. So vSmart to vEdge OMP will run, but there is no OMP between the vEdge to vManage, vBond to vEdge. No OMP, no OMP, right? vSmart to vSmart OMP will run. Any clear? Any doubt? So OMP is a routing protocol that is going to exchange the routing information, and it is always going to run between the vSmart or between the vEdge to the vSmart. Even the vEdge to vEdge, no OMP is going to run. Okay, clear? So this is talking about TLOC TCP based extendable control plane protocols run between the vEdge router and the vSmart control plane, and between the vSmart and the vSmart controller. And where it is done, so before run the OMP, you just have to build the TLS and DTLS connection. If you're not building the TLS and DTLS connection, your OMP is not going to be formed. So no additional configuration is required. Once you form the TLS and DTLS connection, that is a control connection, the OMP is going to be built, right? So you can see here, if you go in a little bit down, see, your vEdge is must form the TLS and DTLS tunnel, which we form right now. This is a tunnel. We just have to form TLS and DTLS tunnel. This is a control connection, right? So TLS or DTLS tunnel you just have to form, then only you can form the OMP. See, inside of the TLS, DTLS, OMP is formed. Between where to where? Between the vSmart to the vEdge and between the vSmart to vSmart, right? But vEdge cannot form the OMP. vEdge to vManage cannot form the OMP. vManage to vSmart cannot form the OMP. I hope you guys noted this point. Clear? Now, if you talk about the site plane, the IPSEC is going to form between the vEdges. Only it is between the vEdges. No IPSEC tunnel is going to form between the vEdge to vManage, vBond, vSmart. It is only going to form between the vEdges. And inside of the IPSEC, we are running the BFD, which I am going to talk later stage. What is the BFD and why you use? Is it clear for time being? So we can take a short break, okay, 10 to 12 minutes, and we'll back again, and we'll discuss further from here. All okay, guys? Can we take a short break? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So let me just stop
Okay,
the
sir.
recording. We'll again start the recording.